I choose to live in a world where God is. Some seem to choose to live in a world where God is not. They apparently want to, possibly because of a misunderstanding of God. They see him as a constraint on the joy and the fullness of life that they envisage in some notion of freedom from all such constraint. But I do not. By the grace of God, I do not. I don't mean I've somehow chosen it of my own volition, whatever that means. I mean that I just find that I want God. I think this can come about by thinking on whatsoever is good and lovely, which in a state of being in love you do. But clearly many people that have been in love have not at the same time switched that love to a devotion to God, but on the contrary doted on their partner and found in the course of time that it was transitory. I mean, even if it was, a marriage of, for argument's sake, 50 years, and then the person dies or you die, it's still transitory. And more often these days it's through divorce and separation and, quotes, misunderstanding and mishap and tragedy and so forth. I was locked. I found when I woke up this morning, must have been pretty early, something like just before 4 o'clock, perhaps 3:30 or something. My mind was in a sort of state of imagining a revenge situation of persons in a godless world, and I realised it's a hopeless situation. Life and the world gets worse and worse. There is no God. People are horrible. They're all taking revenge, and it's a web of evil. And you think, how can I think out of this state of thinking? And of course, well, my habit, thank God, is, and I mean thank God, because how do you get a habit? You're not clear, are you? You know how it came about, but you didn't somehow consciously initiate such a blessing. I find that I think, well, I should just listen to my recordings in some way, and that may put me back on track. And of course it did. I reviewed up to, I think it's 1780. Yeah, that's what I've just looked at. And I'm now on track. I'm lifted by the fact that it could well be a blessing. What is recorded there, and I'm reorientated again. I'm back in a world of awareness of the presence of God, awareness of God, thoughts of God. This is life eternal, to know him, isn't it? Not to forget him or put him out of your consciousness, but to love him with all your heart and soul, mind and strength. The mind comes in, doesn't it, because of the heart and soul, and says, no, I don't want to live in a world of not being mindful of God. Bring me back that mindfulness, God. So in a sense you say to yourself, well, what brings it back? Well, in my case it's listening to my recordings, would you believe, more than reading scripture, or it can be dry, or even good company. You can find they don't seem to be good in the circumstance. And of course my solution isn't your solution. You'll know what brings you back to God, and you practice it. And it's your unique relationship with God, isn't it? How utterly wonderful. We're children of God, and he's our loving Dad. And I won't live supposing anything else, because when I do, I see the tragedy and the torment and the lifelessness of such. It's a living death. Whereas to trust in God as my heavenly Dad, well, I'm just lifted. I'm flying again. This is life eternal, to know Thee, the only true God. So, I welcome these difficult times. Well, in hindsight, not at the time. Difficult times are difficult. Although even then I can rise out of them simply by going through the performance of thanking God and purposing to trust Him for the difficulty I'm in, and that will lift me as well. And that was the Merlin Carruthers way, Prison to Praise, the book was. I found that invaluable. It got me through some incredibly difficult times. And my current wife at the time, the first wife. Love you, Heavenly Dad. Thank you. Thank you, Dad.